This is my favorite travel story. The story ends with me being featured on Buzzfeed's The 23 Most Painfully Awkward Things That Happened in 2015.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nomads No Worries. I'm Steve. This is my co host, Jack. And today we're joined by a very special guest. She's a career and business coach. She's visited all 7 continents. She's been a digital nomad for over 10 years and the host of Digital Nomad Life podcast. It is Christa Romano. How's it going?
Great. Thanks for having
Yeah.
me.
Yes. Thanks for joining. Hope you're doing well. And more importantly, where are you in the world right now?
I am in the digital nomad mecca of the world, which is Canggu, Bali.
Classic.
Do you have a bike? Do you have like a motorbike?
I have a motorbike that I put my dog Honey on in the front, and we drive to the beach every single day for sunset, and it's so fun. Love it.
So you nomad with a dog? Like the dog travels around with you?
Okay, well, so being a nomad, I think it depends on maybe people have different definitions of a nomad. My definition of a nomad is that you just can go wherever, whenever you want. And I still can, even though I actually am now pretty based solidly here. Like I have a villa that I have a long-term lease on. Obviously, I have a dog. I've had my dog for 4 years. Um, and in these past 4 years, I've still managed to make it to Antarctica and just a bunch of new random places. I travel for like 3 months of the year and am based in Bali for 9. But I still think I'm a nomad. I don't know if you guys agree, but
You
I don't
totally are. I feel like Jack and I will move around every month or so. But yeah, like you said, as long as you have that freedom to go wherever you want, I think that's a good definition.
totally.
I love traveling with animals. It's like bringing a little bit with you. I used to travel with some cats, so
Oh,
I still count it.
where did you travel with your cats?
Like Egypt, Georgia.
No way.
Um, yeah, yeah. Adopted them in Egypt actually, and then brought them to like Georgia and Turkey. Other like cat-friendly countries.
Wait, that's cool. People ask me a lot about how I travel with my dog, and my answer is I don't. I literally never
Oh,
travel.
really? Oh,
Yeah, but did you know that it's actually really challenging to take animals in and out of Bali? They just have all these laws around it. You still can, but you basically have to smuggle the dog across the border and like take it on a long car ride to Java and then fly it out of Jakarta, and it's like expensive and sketchy. So I just leave her here.
oh, that sounds kind of fun though. Is it because you have to get like a lot of shots and like a dog passport? I just remember it was like such a pain getting the cats initially out of Egypt, but then after that it was like pretty easy.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need all of that stuff to get the dog out of Indonesia, but to get it off of the island of Bali, you literally can't put it on an airplane. Like no airplane will allow an animal. So you have to take it in a car, and then the car smuggles the dog across, I don't know if it's a bridge or a ferry or something that goes to Java, and then I think it's an 18-hour car ride with the animals. Like I'll take my dog out of Bali if I decide to leave permanently, but until then, she's probably just gonna stay at home with the dog sitter when I'm away.
That's chill. I feel like dogs have a good time in Bali. Like it's really nice and tropical.
Yeah, she has literally the best life. She has a better life than many humans, I would argue, for
Wait, so
sure.
did you find her there or did you bring her?
She found me, so just make
Oh,
sure that we understand the situation.
classic.
Yeah,
Who,
she was
who
this like
rescued who?
She rescued me. She was this tiny little puppy that ran in front of my motorbike one day. I wasn't driving fast. It was like a very slow trafficy situation. But yeah, she ran in front of my bike, and then my friends and I slammed on our brakes, and we both were like, "Did you see that puppy?" And then she's just cowering behind this other bike's wheel, and she had this really big belly and like really patchy fur and didn't have a collar, and I was like, "Okay, I'm just gonna actually, this is kind of a funny story. It was the first year that I lived in Bali, and I was really excited to not be so nomadic anymore. This was like 2020. Because I was traveling and living out of my suitcase for 4 years before I moved here. So anyway,
Hmm.
I was like, I want to foster a dog. I've been wanting a dog forever, and now I finally feel grounded enough to have one. So I had asked my landlord like three on three separate occasions if I could get a dog, and they just kept saying no. So when I found her name was Honey, when I found Honey on the side of the road, I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take her home and I'm just gonna hide her from the housekeeper for just a few days until I can find a foster family for her, because I obviously can't keep the dog. So anyway, I call the vet the next day, and the vet is like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this, and give her all this medicine. And it's going to be like a 2 week process. So I was like, all right, okay, I'm going to take care of her for 2 weeks, and I'll just ask the housekeeper who comes Monday, Wednesday, Friday to not come in the mornings and just to only come in the afternoons. And that will give me enough time to get the dog out of the house by the time the housekeeper comes. Long story short, I didn't see my housekeeper for 4 months because I just kept smuggling the dog out of the house every time the housekeeper came. And like just like hiding all of her doggy things. And eventually I came clean and told the landlord and paid them a bunch of money to just like as a security deposit. But yeah, then the rest is history. Honey's been my dog ever since.
So how long have you lived in Bali, like officially?
Yeah, it's been over 5 years now.
Wow. Do you feel
Yeah.
like there's too many like digital nomads and expats there? Like I've never been, but it just seems like it would be like all gringos and like no locals. Like what's the deal there?
There are definitely a lot of locals for sure. Like you interact with them all the time, every day. Everywhere that you go, there's locals around. There are a lot of expats though. Or can we even say expats? We're like glorified immigrants. There's a lot of people, a lot of not Bali people that live here. But it's just this weird bubble of a place. I feel like Bali gets a really bad rep for that, but have you ever been to Vietnam?
No.
Okay, there are entire cities in Vietnam where everything's written in Russian. So like, I don't know, I just and there's like Chinatowns in many major cities and stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
Bali is a place that just attracts maybe not necessarily one specific demographic of people or like one culture of people, but it's people that have a very similar lifestyle ideal. And Bali is like a bubble for that. So, or at least Canggu is. That's Bali. Yeah.
I I kind of like that. Like when I was there, I liked that there were so many people like me in a way that like had maybe like similar problems or wanted to do similar things, or also because everyone's not from there, everyone's really like friendly and willing to like meet new people and make new friends. And so I thought that was
Yeah.
great, honestly.
I mean, obviously, I've been here for 5 years. Like, love living here so much. And I feel like I think I've been to 67 or 68 countries. So I've checked, like, I've like looked all around the world for the place that I wanted to live. And for sure, Bali's not for everybody, but it's for me. And I think it's just so great. So I'm really happy here. Yeah.
Okay, well, I do have a question though about
Okay.
this. Like,
Sure.
so you've been in Canggu like the whole time. Do you feel like that's your favorite city by far? Like ever did like Uluwatu or anything like that, or Ubud or something, or
I no, I never spent extended time in Ubud or Uluwatu, but I visit that. I probably go to each place like maybe once a month or once every other month. I
okay.
also go to some of the other islands in Bali. Like I move around from Canggu a bit, but Canggu is just special because there's so many entrepreneurs and digital nomads here. So it's a lot of like-minded people that are hustling and trying to build something about of their lives, but they also are not just trying to build anything just for wealth, for example, which is maybe what you would find if you go to Miami or New York City or something, like entrepreneurs who are trying to just be billionaires or multimillionaires. Here, it's like people that are building businesses that make them really happy and make them feel fulfilled and make them feel like they're giving back to the world or they're doing something authentic to them. So I think it's a lot of people that are really rooted in them just pursuing a more beautiful life. So I love that about it. And there's a lot of events and like so many events. And there's kind of like a little micro scene for every kind of person. Like there's a whole sober dance party scene, and there's a whole like racket sport paddle scene, and there's a spiritual scene, and there's a MMA Muay Thai scene, and the like DJs always come through. I don't know, there's just like it's just kind of like anything that you want. I feel like it's like living in a festival every day.
Wow. We would
I
love that, right, Jack?
Yeah, I love festivals. I feel like my scene was like the bad surfer scene. Like
love
that was my vibe.
totally. That is
Yeah,
absolutely for
that's
sure.
a pretty
Okay.
big scene. Yeah.
It's
I
a big
have I have
scene.
a quick question before we get back into the travel stuff. I just like have to ask this before I forget. Did you ever watch Disney Channel?
Oh my gosh, I know what you're gonna say.
Oh,
But the listeners can't see that I look like Miley Cyrus. Is that what you're gonna say?
No,
Oh
but
no.
that's great.
oh, damn. Okay.
And you do
Okay,
look like her, and
okay.
now I feel like you kind of sound like her. The Hannah
Really?
Montana version because you're blonde, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, the question I was gonna ask is your name reminds me of Christy Carlson Romano. Honestly, very close name,
Forgot
aka
about her.
Ren from Even Stevens. Like, have you ever got that? Like,
Oh
has anyone
my
ever asked if you're
gosh.
related or?
There are, yeah, there's like a lot of people that have the name Romano. Like there's also Ray Romano from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Yeah,
Oh my.
Um, and there was that movie Corky Romano, if you remember that movie with Chris Kattan.
nope,
Oh my
but
gosh,
No.
it's so
sounds
funny.
cool.
It's like a really dumb comedy from the early 2000s or 90s, but it's funny anyway.
Okay, let's go back to the beginning. We've talked about your recent affairs. What's kind of your nomad origin story? I know you've been kind of out of the U. I assume you're from the U.S., maybe Canada, but like, what started this whole like, oh, I want to be independent, I want to work remote, I want to live out of the country? Like, how did everyone kind of has their like light bulb moment and all that? So what is that for you?
I feel like I've told this story. I have like every detail of this story in my brain in a really long format because I've told it so many times on my own podcast. So I'm going to try to keep it tight. But basically, I was doing the whole corporate rat race matrix thing. I felt like it was a rat race. And I just was really unhappy in it, but I didn't think that there was any other way to do life. So when I graduated from college, I'm from Massachusetts, by the way, I went to UMass. When I graduated college, I was like, all right, well, I love traveling, but where can I go? Because I can't travel until I'm retired. Like I can't travel properly. And that was just really what I thought. So I moved to New York City, got a big girl job, and then after 3 years, um, basically I ended up at this public relations agency that was very much. Have you ever seen the movie Devil Wears Prada?
I love that movie.
Oh yeah, that's a
Okay, so
classic.
I basically worked in an environment that was like that environment. There
Oh,
were all these insane rules. It was a whole office of only women. Like there was like 48 women and the two guys were both the vice presidents. So, and it was just like a very catty environment, and I just remember being there and being like, I do not fit in here. Like I don't know what weird parallel reality I entered into, but like I can't be here. So long story short, I lost that job. And yeah, basically, I don't even know. Like a couple of my clients stopped re-signing or didn't re-sign with my agency at the same time, and I was a junior person. So I got let go. And then I'm in New York City with no savings because I was living paycheck to paycheck because that's just what you do when you're in your 20s and you're in New York City. And I was panicking, but I felt one so burned by the industry. And like I was doing what I thought was my dream job. So then I was like traumatized by it and just couldn't bear to go back. So was just scrambling for different ideas of what could I do instead to make money. I need to make money right now, but I can't stand this whole rat race thing. Instagram wasn't really much of a thing, or at least Instagram influencing wasn't a thing in 2013. So it was a few blog posts that I read about like how to make money while traveling. And I moved to Thailand to teach English. Everybody thought I was freaking insane. It was like definitely a challenging moment to do something so crazy. At least that's what everybody thought. And then I got to Thailand and I was like, whoa, there's all these other people here that are just like me that also chose a different kind of lifestyle. Um, so anyway, I ended up living in Bangkok for 2 years. I never ended up teaching English. I got a marketing job because that was my background. And it was a really cool job. Like I was the editor of a real estate magazine. Um, and I think that was just like I was in the right place at the right time and I had relevant experience. So I had a really cool lifestyle in Thailand. And then, ooh, the dramatic part of the story, and I feel like this is relevant. After 2 years of living in Bangkok, all of these disasters back home basically had happened. There was a big fire at my childhood house. My parents separated. Two of my aunts passed away. Like, there was just all this dramatic stuff.
Damn.
And so, living on the other side of the planet with a full time job, I realized that I was just in a different rat race. It was a cooler rat race, but it was still another one that, like, I still needed to ask for vacation time. So, I moved back to New York, or like, I tried to move back, kept interviewing for these different jobs. And I just like couldn't bring myself to go back into that environment. So, to kill time, I started like freelancing for random companies, just doing like marketing and writing work. And I basically got hired to be the first full time remote marketing employee for a company in the States. And I was on a 2 week trip to Costa Rica when I got that job. So this was like early 2016, and I'd never heard of the term digital nomad before in my life. But I was like, wait, so if I have this job, it means that I don't have to go home? And my boss was like, you can be wherever you want. Just make sure that you're online when you need to be online. And I was,
Awesome.
oh my God, okay, well, all these people at my hostel are going to Nicaragua, so I think I'll go there. So then I went to Nicaragua, and then I met people that were going to Colombia. So I was like, oh, I'll go to Colombia. And I was working and I was making money and I just was like, oh, this is a thing. And then when I got to Colombia, to Medellin, I learned the term digital nomad, and that's when I was like, oh wait, this is actually for real a lifestyle. And the rest is history. It's been all evolving ever since then.
Wow. Love that. I love that you became a digital nomad before you even knew what that was. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I think I'm OG there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so here's a question. And I hate when people ask me, like, the number one question we get is like, what's your favorite country that you've been to? But like, I hate that question because there's so many caveats, right? So I'm not going to ask you that. But since you've been to every continent, what is your favorite continent? And maybe it's Asia because that's where you've settled down, but that's my question.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, I love Southeast Asia. I wouldn't say that eight, like, I feel like continents is so limiting because the continents are so diverse. But I could say there's regions, like if we're looking at Latin America or Brazil, I feel like is a separate place, and then the Central America and North America, and then you know, Western Europe and Eastern Europe, and there's like all these different regions. So I think Southeast Asia is where I just I've just gravitated towards so much. Like I've literally spent 7 years of my life in Southeast Asia, which is just bizarre. I don't understand why I'm like this, but but I am. But actually I do have a favorite country that
Okay.
like
Okay.
I just love Brazil. I'm obsessed with Brazil. I love everything about the culture. I would totally live there if it felt a little bit safer. Um, but yeah, I've also been to Brazil 6 times, and I just think that's so interesting that like I don't have any reason. Like there's no It's not like I have family in Brazil, or like any specific reason why my life has just, or like a job, just my life and my energy has taken me back to Brazil over and over and over again. And
It's
I
funny
don't
you
know.
say that. So my older brother and his wife, they're both teachers in the US, and they lived in Rio for 2 years. Like they taught at the English speaking school there. So yeah, they just lived in Rio for 2 years. So if you need to chat with someone about what it's really like to live there full time,
Let's get them on the pod.
yeah, we'll get them on. Yeah, they're boring now. They're old and they have kids and they just live in Kansas. But at one point they did live in Rio, which is pretty cool.
Sometimes life is just about collecting stories to tell your grandkids. So
Love that.
I
great
love
is
that.
that?
We have
Wait, so I got
fun.
a, I got a backtracking question for you. So when you were in Thailand, did you work for an American company that 2 years, or was that like a Thai company, or how'd you kind of get that job? I think I've met a few people who they almost like nomad, but they don't have a remote job. They just go to that country and work. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of what reminded me of that.
Yeah, I think that's what actually it means to be an expat, to be fair. So yeah, I actually found that job on Craigslist. So this is like 2013 that we're talking about. So yeah, you have to remember I like moved to Thailand really on a whim. Like I was like, okay, I need money and I guess I'll go get my TEFL, and I just moved there the month that I decided. And I ended up there in November of that year, and or maybe it was October, which is when I was starting to look for teaching jobs. So October is in the middle of the school year, and if there is a teaching job available in October, it's probably because someone quit or the school is in the middle of nowhere. So there just weren't really many good jobs that were available at the time. And I like moved to Thailand with I think $4,000 to my name. So I needed to start making money right away. Yeah, I just was kind of trying to figure out using every single resource I could possibly think of. And so I was perusing on Craigslist and found some job that was like a I think it was like a blogging position. And I remember I met the two guys that were running the company. It was a startup. I met them at a Starbucks and they were like, "Oh, you're from New York City. Oh, you have a college degree. Oh, you actually have relevant marketing experience. Wait a minute. Do you want this marketing position that we have at this other startup?" So they kind of offered me this job that I didn't even apply for. And it was this English guy who his name was Ben. Um, he'd been in the Air Force previously in the UK, and then he came to Thailand and was like, "Oh, there's lots of opportunities to start a business." And he saw that Thailand at the time didn't have any kind of a digital real estate portal that was in English. So he basically was building the Zillow of Southeast Asia, and that was the startup. And they needed an English speaking marketing person. And yeah, that was a job that I got hired for. So it was like half Western people and half Thai people that were in the office. It was cool. It was a very cool cultural experience to work there. I loved it.
I think that's awesome. It reminds me, like, I feel like every time I travel anywhere, right, and they have like English speaking marketing geared towards expats, I feel like it can always be very hit and miss, right? It might be like translated correctly, but it might sound weird. So I feel like it's valuable to have an English speaking marketer in a different
Mhm.
country because it's always like a little bit off.
Yeah, totally. I got really lucky with that job. It was maybe my favorite job that I've ever had. It was cool.
So you live in Bali. I assume you're vegan or something. Have a weird diet.
I was vegan for 2 years, but now I'm not anymore.
So me and Jack went vegan for a little bit. Living
Um,
in Denver, we wanted to fit in, but
in Denver,
yeah.
it's a big
Anyway,
thing
I
in
think I
Denver.
lasted like a few days. I don't know.
I lasted a couple months, but yeah, then I had Chick-fil-A again, and I was like, all right, I'm done. No turning back. Okay, so you're not vegan. That's cool. So my next question is about food. I'm sure you've eaten a lot of different cuisines around the world. Do you have a favorite type of cuisine in the world?
Um, I have a great question for you guys. This is my favorite travel question. I'll answer it but this is how no, can I ask you a question instead?
Sure.
Please. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. For the listeners, this is like the best question to ask if you're staying in a hostel and you're trying to get to know people, because food is just a topic that everybody can relate to, especially if you're talking to travelers, they love it. So the question is, if you had the ability to teleport for just one day, like one 24-hour period, where would you have breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner, dessert, wine, etc.? Like what would you eat and where would you eat it throughout the whole day?
It's the full day, and you're eating every meal in the same country. Is that
Can I
right?
No, no.
teleport per meal?
Yeah, yeah. You can teleport. You need to
Oh,
eat
per
the
meal.
whole meal in one place, but you can eat like as many meals as you can handle in a day.
Okay.
Well, maybe you have like four small meals and like a dessert or something. So where are you gonna, what different countries or places would you have them?
All right, I think I know my breakfast, Steve. Can
Oh,
we just
go,
start? We
Jack.
can start
Yeah,
slow.
go
Like,
for it.
for me, breakfast, I love Central American breakfast. Like, I love the plantains and the cheese and the eggs. So I'm actually gonna have to go with like Nicaragua or Guatemala. I feel like they just have really good, like, filling, but also I feel like healthy breakfasts. And I just love eating them in the jungle, getting bit by mosquitoes. I feel like that's such a vibe.
I've never heard that. I asked this question to a lot of people and I've never heard that answer before. That's cool.
Really? Maybe that means I'm off then. Okay.
Let's
Steve?
go, Jack. Okay, we'll switch off meal to meal, Jack.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll go breakfast. I'm gonna go with Colombia. Not really known for its food necessarily, but they have this big breakfast thing called like a país. I forget, but it's huge. It's just a shit ton of food. It was originally made for like poor people, like working in blue collar type jobs, and they really could only eat one meal the whole day, and then they just work a shit ton of hours. So they just eat a giant breakfast and then they're good to go for the day. So I just like big portions, and that's what this gives me.
Nice. Okay. I
All
have
right,
no idea
Jack, what's
what
your
kind of food that is, but
Yeah.
but it's big.
there's a shit ton of shit. It's like bacon, plantains, beans, eggs, a
Oh,
bunch of stuff. Anyway,
I
Jack, you
will
got it.
say that I get down with a lot of breakfast, but like I feel like the English breakfast is something I can't get behind. I can't have like pudding or beans for breakfast. I don't, it just doesn't work in my American body.
I'm into a
Fair
Brazilian
enough.
breakfast. Obviously, I love Brazil, but I love an acai bowl and a coffee and I'm gonna butcher the pronunciation, but like a pão de queijo is like a cheese bread, but it's made with tapioca and oh, it's so good. Oh my God, obsessed.
So that's
Okay,
why you love Brazil. You're thinking about the food the whole time.
I love so many things about Brazil, but the fact that I love the food also is great.
Okay. Okay,
I
here we
love.
go. For lunch, it's kind of a cliche spot, but I'm going to have to go with Greece. Okay. I feel like the Greek salads in Greece are so good. Like they're just so fresh. All the ingredients is just right there. I love having like fish, or if I'm feeling a little fattier, maybe I'll get like like a euro or something. But I think that Greece has a really good mix of hearty or just like filling food, but it doesn't make you feel sort of like full and gross. It's refreshing. And they got good seafood, good meat. They got everything.
I am also
So
going to Greece for lunch.
nice.
Let's go.
For different reasons, or
Yeah, the Greek salad, but the Greek yogurt is, oh my God, to die for. I don't know why it's so much better than literally everywhere else, but it's so good. And then I love the dolmas, like the grape leaves that are stuffed with rice and meat.
yes,
And then they have a lot of hummus, which is really nice. And just, I feel like it's like the quality of the vegetables, like the cucumber and tomato is just, and the feta is so good every time.
it's crazy because like I just feel like I've never had a Greek salad until I was in Greece. I'm like, this is just a complete game changer. Like, how is this even possible? Like, how can we not do this in America? I don't get it.
It is a game changer.
Wait, Krista, did we get your breakfast? Now that we got your lunch, we need your breakfast, I
Yeah,
think.
My
Brazil.
my Brazilian
Brazil.
acai. Yeah.
I'll cut that stupid question I just asked.
No,
Um,
reinforcement, Steve. It's good. This is
yeah.
good for.
My lunch is going to be, I'm a spicy boy. Just
Mm.
give me all the picante hot sauce, and the tacos in Mexico are just unmatched. I love them so much. Jack, you've seen me just, I've never been happier in some moments when I just have a ton of tacos in Mexico. They just, in the States, it just doesn't taste the same, Mexico tacos.
Nice. Good answer.
I honestly have self-control issues when I start to get going in some tacos in Mexico, like, because they're so small, right? It's like, dude, I could eat another one. It's not like, oh, I gotta like
Always.
tackle this whole nother burrito. It's like, this thing fits in my hand. I can just one bite it. And then before you know it, you're down like 20.
It's
Is
great.
that where you're gonna go for dinner?
No, I got a different spot.
Let's hear it.
Okay. Okay. I'm actually gonna have to go with Dominican Republic for dinner.
Whoa.
Okay.
Okay.
Hot take.
I know I'm making it a little spicy this time. They're really good at barbecue. Okay. So they do barbecue, rice, veggies, and you're on the beach eating it, and it's sort of like a cookout vibe. And I think that Dominican people are some of the most fun people. Their culture, they love to dance, they love to have a good time, drink the rum, drink the mamajuana, if you know what's up.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I just feel like it's not just about eating the food there. It's like the entire experience of everyone having a good time and enjoying their life. And so I just have some really good memories there. So
Amazing. Also never heard that answer, but respect. What about you, Steve? Where are you going for dinner?
Okay. This is a type of food that I don't even really like that much in the States. Like, it's not my go-to because it's not super spicy. But the pasta in Italy is, again, just so different. It just hits different. It's so good. You get the wine going. Just, again, kind of like Jack was saying, the whole vibe. You're just in Italy. The pasta is fresh. It just hits different and it's incredible. And I don't even get Italian food that much when I'm in the States, but in
mhm.
Italy, bring it on.
Nice. Love that. I think I'm gonna go to Japan for dinner
Oh,
because sushi and the gyozas and the sushi. Yeah.
There's like a famous quote from Anthony Bourdain. He's like, you can ask any chef in any of the major food cities, New York, Paris, like anyone in the world, like every chef will tell you, like if they could eat in one city for the rest of their lives, it would be Tokyo.
it's funny you say that though, because when I was in Tokyo, I was never able to actually find the restaurant I wanted to go to because there were so many and I just like would always get lost, but I would always end up at a good spot anyway, so it didn't even matter. But maybe I'm just like too disorganized, but there'd be like 20 restaurants stacked on top of each other. I'm like, dude, I don't know which one it is, but this one looks good.
It's a little
Love
confusing to
that.
navigate around there for sure. But it's kind of like even if you end up at a random ass place, it's still probably going to be really good.
Yeah, like never had a problem, just never made it to anywhere I plan to go, but that's fine.
It's the way to
Okay,
travel.
how does this question work, Krista? Are we like done with it, or is there you said like dessert? Is there
You could
still
do
another
this.
piece?
You could do
Oh,
dessert
we
if
should
you
do
want.
dessert. We
Yeah,
should
do
do dessert.
dessert for sure. You can add snacks. Do whatever you want. Oh wait, actually, okay. Steve, have you been to Japan?
I was
Have
born
you been?
there.
Oh, you were.
Speaking of teaching English, again, my parents taught English there, and I was born there, and I haven't been back since. But I am planning to go there in December of this year to spend some extended time there. So I'll report back.
Okay, that is so
Nice.
cool. Nice.
That was a
Well,
loaded answer, but yeah.
yeah, that's cool. The reason why I was asking is because a few of my closest friends know that I ask this question a lot when I'm in a group, and so they've heard it before. And we all went to Japan together, and they were like, "Krista, your question, your food question, the teleportation one, you also need to add where will you use the bathroom and where will you have snacks? Because Japan also wins in both of those categories as well."
Mm,
You know what I mean? Like the
Yeah.
snacks are so next level, and the bathrooms are always like it's always like heated toilet seats and like they have
Mhm.
little like speaker boxes of running water inside of all the stalls and it's just a whole experience.
as I get older, I love a good bathroom. And let me
It's
tell
Yeah,
you.
important.
especially after my Mexican lunch, I might need to use
I,
that Japanese toilet. So
Okay, dessert.
why don't you lead us off, Krista? Because you're the pro here.
yeah.
Okay. I'd probably go to Italy for a tiramisu and wine. Yeah, because of the
That's
vibes
great.
also.
Jack?
All right, my answer is going to be out of left field, but I have to say it anyway because it just happened. Okay, so I'm actually going to have to go with the USA. I know.
Oh,
I know, okay? But I had this
Cheesecake Factory.
pistachio. What's up?
I said Cheesecake Factory.
Honestly, not bad. Okay, but we had this place in Kansas City called Tiffany's, and they had just like hundreds of pies ready to go. Do you remember that place, Steve?
Yeah, isn't it Tippins? I
Oh,
don't
is
know,
it
but
Tippins? Oh, maybe you're right.
yeah.
Okay, it's been a while. Okay.
You get your diamonds at Tiffany's, get your pies at Tippins. Yeah. Anyway,
Was that really a phrase?
no, I just made that up, but yeah.
Good. Okay. No, okay, so I'm gonna go with pistachio ice cream at Cipriani in Miami. It was the greatest ice cream I've ever had. It's the greatest dessert I've ever put in my mouth. So that's just like my plug for this. Like, I'm not sponsored by them or anything, but I had it a few weeks ago and I can't get it out of my head. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to go back, but it's a super fancy place, so I don't know if I can just go in just for ice cream or not, but I might have to.
Maybe they'll sponsor this podcast. You never know.
We'll reach out.
I will eat the ice cream on the pod every time. We'll see how long that lasts.
Nice.
All right. Normally for dessert, I'd rather just eat more of like the meal. I'm not a huge dessert guy, but I do crush it. Like, I'm not going to act like I didn't eat cookies last night. But for my dessert, this is another vibes pick. I'm going to go with France. Just rip a crepe, but at a cafe on the street. The cafe culture there is just so chill. And if I'm going to have dessert, I'm going to be on a patio in France, people watching, having some wine, enjoying a little crepe action, like a fresh hot crepe. And that's it.
Wow, I'm sold. I feel like I want to revoke my Italy answer and come with you to France instead. That sounds like a vibe.
They're close, we could just like rip the train, and go the
That's true.
next day. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, we can teleport, so we could do
That's
both.
That's
true.
true. And yeah, in this scenario, yeah, that's convenient. All right.
Thanks for
That's
playing my
good.
game.
Oh, we might have to steal that question. That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
Definitely.
use that all the time. That was awesome. Like, next time
Yeah.
my boss makes me do an icebreaker question, like he makes me come up with icebreaker questions in like our big meetings. So I'm going to use that one.
Love it.
Okay, should we get into the boring stuff now? I mean, it's not boring for you, Krista, or us. It's just not as fun as talking about tacos. Let's talk about your career, your current career. So you're a career coach. I don't know. I mean, the coaches that I've had in my life like yelled at me and made me run laps, but I assume that what you do is different. Like, you don't have a
Yeah.
whistle. Yeah,
No.
what's that all about?
Yeah, definitely not. I'm not that kind of coach, and I'm also not even your average career coach either. Like, I think when people go to a normal career coach, the career coach will probably look at their resume and help them position themselves in a certain way, or help them climb the corporate ladder. I don't do anything remotely at all like that. So I work with people who actually want to get off of the corporate ladder forever and never, ever, ever look back. People that want to escape the rat race, if you will, escape the matrix. So people come to me when they are burnt out or frustrated by their current career, and they want to do something else that lets them work entirely remotely, but they don't know what to do. They don't know what they could do. People come to me that are like nurses, construction workers, and also a lot of people that are in advertising or marketing, or I don't know, insert any digital job too, that they just don't know how to turn it into like a remote thing. So I take people through this really big personality and career history assessment. And it's a lot of work actually for my clients to fill out the form that I give them. It really is a super, super deep dive into everything that they've ever learned and studied, every task that they've ever done at work, whether they're introverted or extroverted, how they feel about certain aspects of the workplace. It's really we leave no stone unturned, major life stories, etc. So it takes them a long time to fill out this form, but then once they do, I can get on the phone with them. I pull up their sheet, and usually within 30 minutes of me talking through their sheet, like I'll say, oh, tell me more about this thing that you wrote. They have the answers just right at the forefront of their mind because they just surfaced everything. And it's a super productive conversation. And usually, again, within 30 minutes to an hour, I suggest to them a remote business that they can create that leverages aspects of their personality and skill set that they already have. So that's what I do.
Well, I guess I'm curious, like, so with these people that you help, do you find like commonality between like people who are able to be successful transitioning, like any sort of like personality types or maybe skill sets or mindsets that, maybe make a certain type of person more successful in a situation like this?
Yeah, totally. I would say confidence and self or inner security are the biggest contributing factors
Okay.
because I teach a really, really simple business model. It's the small service provider model. So everybody that comes through my program, the Digital Nomad Life Academy, everybody that comes through it, they are coaches, consultants, editors, designers, managers, planners, like anybody that's exchanging time for money or like some kind of activity for money. I don't teach anybody e-commerce. I don't teach about digital products. I don't teach I don't know, like how to run an agency. I don't do anything like that. Everybody again is a service provider. So when you're a service provider, you don't need to have a big marketing machine in order for it to work. You just need to be really clear on what it is that you do and to be embodied and confident when you say to people, this is what I do. So like I just gave you guys a pitch and at least Steve, like I saw your face being like, whoa, wait a minute. And like whatever it was that I said, I noticed by your facial expression that it made some impact on you. And that means that the way that I express myself works. And now you probably will remember what I just said. And if you ever talk to another person that needs my service, you're probably going to remember that I offer it. And that's how my word of mouth referral network can work really well. And I teach that to my clients. But if you say things like, oh, I'm building this business or I'm learning this thing or I'm thinking about or I just started, like when you say things like that, when you say it in that way, that then your word of mouth referral network does not work because people don't take you seriously and then you don't get clients. So yeah, actually the most important factor is just that the person can be really secure in themselves when they say, this is what I do. And to take that a step further, I would say people that tend to have that quality are probably people that have been working in corporate for, I don't know, like 3+ years. Because if they've been working in corporate, and especially if they've gotten like at least one promotion within their corporate career, they probably have good work ethic and they've probably gotten some kind of positive feedback from their boss at some point. And I think as long as you, again, have that internal belief that you can do something, the business model is very, very easy to follow. So yeah, that's my answer.
It's crazy how important confidence is, not just in what you're talking about, but just with everything. Like as soon as I learned that, just in life, it unlocked so much for me. Just like humor. Okay, like you could say a joke or say something that's meant to be funny with like confidence and everyone will laugh. You could say the same exact line, same joke with no confidence or no conviction, and like people won't laugh, they won't jive with you. I don't know. So I just think confidence goes a long way.
It's like it's pretty much 90%. It is.
I mean, I think about like the Fire Fest guy.
Yeah.
Okay, really, really bad example. This is like a negative. This is how you use confidence for like bad, like the powers of evil. But like
Yeah.
he would just go and get like all these investments from people, and he had like no like real background in like anything. Obviously, he didn't even really have like a business, this whole Firefest thing. And he went in and just like with so much confidence and gave a great pitch. And people were like, yeah, here's $1 million so you can do Firefest. And
Mhm.
obviously we know the story with that. But that was just an example of just exuding confidence, and somehow people will go with it.
It's everything. It literally is.
I feel like that's almost just like a how to be successful in life. It's like if you don't have those skills, like I guess you probably should work for someone forever, you know? Like
I was thinking
Yeah.
that like not everyone has, I mean, I'm sure you're an excellent coach, but like I feel like not everyone is built to be an entrepreneur, but maybe I'm wrong. Tell me different. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess I feel like if the desire is there, it's probably because it's possible for you. I don't know how spiritual or woo-woo you guys are, but I live in Bali, so obviously I am. Uh,
Right. You're not vegan, but you're
Buddhist.
so I'm a pretty stereotypical Bali girl. Anyway, the point is, I was listening to this book, a guy named Bob Proctor. He's like the founder, father of manifestation. Anyway, this is a really interesting little point in the book that I thought. Okay, so he was saying you would never desire to be something if you didn't have a belief that that thing were possible for you to have or be. So, an example is like, I don't have the desire to be a billionaire because I don't think that it's actually possible for me to be a billionaire. Do I think it would be cool to be a billionaire? Sure, but like I don't want to be a CEO, and I'm pretty confident that that's what I would have to be if I wanted to be a billionaire. But I do want to be a millionaire, and I can actually see a path for me to do that that's within my current realm of possibility in my belief system. I also would never desire to be a basketball player because I'm 5'2". It just it just wouldn't really work. But I did have a desire to be a surfer. So then I started surfing and it was really fun. And then I got to a point where I was like, I could try to get really good at surfing, but now that I've been surfing for long enough, I see what the road is like to get good at surfing, and I don't actually want to do that. And then I stopped wanting to be a surfer because I didn't think that I could do it. So, yeah, so no, I don't think that everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur, but I do think that if someone has an interest in exploring the possibility, then it probably is possible for them.
yeah.
So
That,
that
that
makes
makes
so what you're
sense.
kind of saying is anyone who comes to you, they've sort of already gone through that personal like, okay, like I believe I can do this. I just need like a little bit of help.
For sure. I mean, definitely like a big part of my coaching is like talking people down from the ledge basically. So like they join the program and they're all excited and they're like, "Oh my gosh, amazing. Okay, she's going to give me the roadmap and now I can see how possible it is." And then they start doing the work and like the work itself is not complicated. It's not hard. It doesn't take a rocket scientist or even anyone that's smart. You don't actually need to be smart. What you need to be is confident. And that can be really hard for people because their insecurities get in their way, the criticism from their mom and their grandparents, or the societal expectations, or oh god forbid they have to post on LinkedIn and their old boss who fired them last year sees it. Like there's all this internal just scary little demons that hold people back. So a lot of my coaching is reminding people of who they really are and that they did always have this desire because deep down they do know that it's possible for them. But yeah, a lot of, ego can get in the way, fears can get in the way, and I would say that's ultimately why people end up not succeeding. But the ones that continue to believe in themselves and when they have a vulnerable moment, they seek support, those people usually end up doing really well.
Yeah, no, manifestation is hot in the streets right now. I know that. So reminds me, talked about a book. Have you ever read Journey of Souls?
Yes, I have.
It's almost like
Yeah.
the Bible of like spirituality, I feel like, and like the spirit world and things like that. But it was written by a doctor, like a hypnosis guy, and he would like put people in hypnosis and then get into like talk to like their soul, not just their like being.
Yeah.
Anyway, really interesting book. You were like, I don't know if you guys are into woo woo shit, but I was like, that's a woo woo book that I read recently, and
It
I
is
loved
the
it. So
I was like shocked that you mentioned that book. I had to think like, is that really the book that he's referring to? But yeah, no, I love all soul journey things like that. So, and
yeah,
specifically
no,
this.
I may not love it as much as you do, but I'm certainly open to it. And yeah, I like that that book is backed by, like data and studies. There's other books that really are backed by no like real data or studies. So to me, this is more believable than a lot of other things out there. I'm a nomad. I just, I'm a free spirit too.
No worries.
I mean, all science like originally started off as spiritual, and I think a lot of science is actually spiritual. It's just we explain how it works. But there's some absolutely magical things that happen in science. Like anything that's quantum science is complete and utter magic, and we don't even understand it. But because it's being studied, therefore now it's science. But it's spiritual as fuck.
I
That's
hate these
true.
guys. Just taking out all the
It's
fun stuff.
Yeah.
yeah, it's still magical.
There's like a good intersection, like monks brewing beer. I feel like that's an intersection of like spirituality and science. That's like pretty good.
Yes.
You're right, Jack.
Yeah, I'm just trying to
They just
relate to you guys. I haven't read that book, so I was...
it's a journey. I recommend it. It's good.
So, do you sell a course, would you say?
There's a course inside of my program, but I would say it's more of a program.
Okay. Jack and I have an ongoing joke. Like, we just see a lot of people selling courses, and sometimes it's like how to be a digital nomad. And we're like, it sounds like what you do is a lot more involved getting deep into their career. But sometimes we're like, it's not that hard I don't need a course to get a remote job and then like get a plane ticket. That's like 2 steps. So that's an ongoing joke. You just proved us wrong, though, that it's a lot deeper than that.
I mean, I think it can be really simple. You know what? It's simple for people that believe that it's simple. And then,
There
Maybe
it is.
that's
and
us. It's
yeah,
almost like being naive, like we're so naive we don't know it's complex. We're just like, okay, like this is what you do.
or it's like it's just not complex to you because you don't think it's that big of a deal to go book a plane ticket, or like you don't mind being uncomfortable or not knowing what the future holds. Like I feel like for me, digital nomadism is just a whole psychology experience.
It is. We talk to people all the time, and they're like, man, I wish I could be a digital nomad like you. And then they'll just list like 100 excuses. They're like, but my
Yeah.
dog, my this, my that. Like they list so many excuses. It's like, you may not be in the right mindset for this.
But Steve, now we have a case study. Christa has a dog.
And you had cats.
That's right.
Yeah. But send them to me. If you have anybody that's like, I want to do this, but I don't know how, I will take them. I will show them and help them every single step of the way. So just send them over. Christabella Travel, hit me up.
Yes. Should we ask our final question, Jack?
Yeah. I feel like she must have a good Nomad Nightmare.
We have something on this show called Nomad Nightmares. And it's just really anything, any mistakes that you make while traveling, anything that goes wrong, because that happens a lot. And sometimes it's funny to laugh about. I'm sure you've had a lot over the years.
Yeah.
Maybe you have a favorite one. Maybe you have one that's recent and on your mind. But let's be vulnerable here. Let's not just talk about your really sick business and how cool you are. Like let's talk about a mistake you've made.
Let's get real.
I have a few stories. Do you want a story about Jordan or India?
Ooh, I feel like India could be spicy.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Okay. Okay, this is my favorite travel story,
Yes.
and the story ends with me being featured on Buzzfeed's The 23 Most Painfully Awkward Things That Happened in 2015.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
And,
Okay. What an intro.
yeah. And on this list, there's a video of me. There's also a video of Donald Trump, like doing a really awkward handshake. There was that famous Madonna and Drake kiss. Remember? I don't know if
Oh
you
yeah.
remember, like she
Yeah.
kissed him on stage. All this awkward, like really cringy, awkward videos, and then my video is on that list. So, okay.
Wow.
How do I tell the story as quickly as possible? So basically, I'm traveling in India with my other blonde friend, Stacy, and the two of us were very like we don't plan anything kind of people. So we just rock up to this city called Rishikesh, which is by the Himalayan mountains, and it's also towards the top of the Ganges River. So before I went to India, I was learning about it, and the Ganges River, there's some interesting facts about it. And most interestingly, it is a place where Indian Hindus believe that if someone dies, if you can get their body to the Ganges River within 24 hours of their passing and burn their body in the river, then their soul can reach nirvana.
Mm.
So basically, there's a lot of dead bodies in the river. And that was what I knew about the Ganges River, which I'm so sorry if there are any Indian listeners. Like, I don't mean to be disrespectful. This is just actually what I thought and the only thing that I knew. Most Indian people find this story funny. Anyway, so Stacy and I are wandering around Rishikesh, and we're just like lost little puppies. Like, we have no idea what's going on. We can't communicate with anybody. It's so overwhelming in India. There's so many sounds and smells, and there's this freaking huge ass enormous rushing river, and it's just this really epic, intense place. India in general is just very intense. So we're wandering around. We're pretty sure that we're the only tourists in the whole town. And then we meet one other American dude, Martin. And Martin's like, "Oh, I've been riding around my motorcycle in India for the past 6 months. Like, I can give you any recommendations you need." And we're like, "Okay, we don't even know what to do in this city at all. Like, just tell it what's the best thing to do." And he's like, "Oh, the best thing is every day at sunset, you can go to the edge of the river, the big temple, and you can see the puja ceremony." So then he's like, "All right, see you later," gives us a tip and leaves. And we're like, "Okay, we don't know what a puja ceremony is, but like, sure, we'll go check it out." So we find the temple at sunset, and we make it, and the ceremony is already underway. Okay, just to describe what this ceremony looked like. So first of all, this absolutely enormous river, big rushing waves, and the mountains behind it. And then this temple is this orange temple. It's like 5 stories high. There's all this like white detailing on it, and it's like looks like a wild cake. And then there's these semicircular steps in front of the temple that are leading right into the river water. And on the steps are like 1,000 people wearing their saris, and there's incense, and there's gongs, and there's chanting, and there's music, and it's just this like boom, like you're in India moment. So Stacy and I, we look at each other and we're like, "Wait, this is so cool. Like, we're in India. Oh, amazing." So we start just kind of like slowly edging our way into the crowd. And then I have my big fancy DSLR camera on me, as well as my purse, by the way, with my passport and like everything important with me I had on my body. So I have my camera and I'm like, "Oh, this is so cool. Like, it's so beautiful." And I'm like taking a picture of this and I'm taking a picture of that, like snapping my photos. I'm moving through the crowd. And then I'm like, "Wait, where's Stacy?" And then I realize I've lost Stacy. And then I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I've I must be so obnoxious right now. Like, I have my camera. I actually have no idea what these people are celebrating. I hope I'm not being rude. Like, my camera's being loud and annoying. And then I was like, you know what? Okay, we're just going to put the camera down and observe. And I'm just going to be a good traveler and just watch. So I'm looking around me, trying to understand or pick up any clues about what's happening around me. And I see that people are holding this little like like a spiritual offering. It's like a banana leaf with a flower and then a lit candle on top. And I see them kind of holding it with two hands and they're waving it in a little circle and then they pass it to someone next to them. So I'm watching and then someone passes me the flower offering and I'm like, "Okay, I got this. Like I've been watching." So I kind of like wave it around thinking that I'm doing it right, but then nobody's taking it from me. I'm like, "Oh, will you take it? Will you take it?" And nobody's taking it. And I can't communicate. So then I'm like, I'm like, what do I do with this like flaming thing? And I see that they're passing the flower offerings down and they're floating it down the river. So I'm like, okay, this river, not so sure about this river, like the dead body river. Like, I don't know if I want to go near that. I also just had gotten a tattoo on my ankle, like literally 2 days before, and I wasn't supposed to get it wet. But I was like, all right, when in India, I'll just get my toes wet. So I go down to the bottom step and I'm holding the flower offering thing. And I'm on a platform, like a bigger stair than all the other ones. So it's the bottom step, right? So I step on this thing to put the flower offering into the river and it kind of floats out and then it just goes right back and it's like stuck next to my foot, like on the step. So I'm like, oh, I need to put it deeper into the river. So I pick up the flower offering and take a step to put it deeper into the river. And I wasn't on the bottom step. I was just on a step and I literally took a step into the abyss, into the water and tumbled into the fucking rushing Ganges River with my camera, with my phone, with my purse, with my passport, like with all of my stuff. Oh my God. And this freaking offering and literally freaked out, like thought that I was about to drown. I actually think I blacked out the moment that it happened, but I was so scared. Oh my God. Most intense moment of my life. So next thing I know, I'm like standing on the steps, obviously soaking wet. I don't know how I got out. I feel like the people around me must have grabbed me. Because again, this is like a rushing river. I feel like they must have grabbed me and saved me because I don't remember a struggle or anything. But I just remember seeing the crowds part ways and there was Stacy and she's like, "Why are you so wet?" And I'm like, "I fell in the river and like I think I might have cholera or I'm gonna die. I don't know, like my camera's busted, like my passport's fucked. What do I do? What do I do? Do I go to a hospital? Do I go take a shower?" And she's like, "I don't know. This is a really weird situation." So anyway, we go sit at the edge of the temple and I'm like pouring water out of my bag. I'm crying, I'm laughing. I'm like, no one is ever gonna believe how truly ridiculous this whole situation was. Like, I'm just this like little blonde girl in the middle of some ridiculously cultural Indian ceremony and just took a plunge in the middle of their sacred river, like in the middle of their temple, in the middle of their ceremony. Anyway, the ceremony ends, everybody is leaving, and all the Indian people are like looking at me like, who's this foreigner that just took a dip in the river? And another tourist, the fourth tourist in the town, walks by this French girl and she's like, "Hey, you're that girl that fell in the river." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks for noticing." And she's like, "Oh no, sorry. I was filming the whole ceremony and I caught it on camera." So she shows me her phone and this video, it's literally only 8 seconds long, but it's perfectly timed. It's perfectly framed and you can see the whole thing. It's like the temple, the river, the ceremony, and then me just like plowing through the center, splashing into the water, and then the video cuts.
I'm so glad she captured that. Like, no offense to you at your
Oh
expense, but
no.
like that's awesome that she got that because I want to see it now.
Oh my God. You can Google on or YouTube, blonde girl falls into Ganges River. And actually, you should just go look it up
Perfect.
right now.
Yes, I'm gonna look at it right now. Blonde
Yeah.
Dude,
girl
I was lucky.
fall. How do you spell?
Actually,
Oh, it finished it for me. Google finished it
yeah,
for me.
yeah.
Like it like knows about it.
Oh my God. You almost saved it. Like you kind of stumbled and then it was over.
I know. I wish you had caught the rest, but yeah, I actually don't even remember what happened next.
Yeah, you just like disappeared all of a sudden. It's just like shoot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, that was awesome. There are a lot of different ways that story could have gone. I thought you were gonna say you stepped on a dead body or like the dead
Oh,
bodies were gonna be involved somehow, but
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
you were still swimming. You probably like drank some of the like dead body water and stuff, so that's good.
I feel like the rest of the story is that once she sent me that video, I was like, oh my gosh, thank God that there's evidence of this, because at least this is going to be a funny story. So yeah, I posted on YouTube, like that's on my channel. And then I posted that night, like I put it on Facebook and I linked it to Instagram, and I had a private Instagram at the time. Anyway, I go to bed, it's like a 12-hour time difference. I wake up the next day, I have 4,000 likes on this video. And everybody that I've ever met in my life is coming out of the woodwork and they're like, this is amazing. Like, this is hilarious. And then my friend is like, I want to get karma points on Reddit. Can I put it on Reddit? Like, I need you to put it on YouTube or like whatever. So she puts it on Reddit, titles it, what does she title it? Tries to join Hindu ceremony, does not go as planned. Goes viral all over Reddit, goes viral on 9gag, goes viral on Bro Bible, on EllenTube, and it just starts making its rounds like all around the internet. Yeah, later that year, that was how it ended up on Buzzfeed's The Most Painfully Awkward Things That Happened in 2015. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. I mean, you have quite the resume as we've learned throughout this whole conversation, but I mean that tops it. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm
So,
kind of proud of it now.
Is it good marketing for the program? I feel like,
You know, at the
it's not.
time, I did not understand the value of going viral on the internet. So it has amounted to literally nothing in terms of like whatever, but it's just a good story. So it's okay. I like it.
that
I
was
love
awesome.
this caption on one of the videos. A young girl slipped into the Ganges River while attempting to film a social media reel. I'm like, I'm like,
It's not even
okay.
true. They didn't even
Yeah.
have those
Well,
back then.
honestly, people, I feel like that the whole experience, okay, it didn't amount to anything business wise. It did give me a really interesting insight into like the trolls of humanity, because I obviously posted that video, so I think that it's funny and like I'm happy to laugh at myself and whatever. But if you go into Reddit and you see the original thread, there are people that are trying to be so mean. Like, and I'm not offended by it. I think that it's funny, but like people are like, "Oh, what do they even say?" They're like, "Oh, she probably died of gangrene," or like I don't even know, like dumb American bitch. Like just say things like that. I'm like, "You don't
Dude,
know that I'm American."
I'm convinced that some people are so psychotic. Like that's their therapy. Like
Yeah.
they just need to like have an outlet and their outlet is commenting mean things on the internet, you know? Like they never act like that in real life, but it just like bottles up inside of them. They're like, I just have to leave a mean comment. And then that's like they feel better afterwards.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm happy to give them some content. It's fine.
Thank you for your service. All right. That was great. I'm so glad you told it. And that was a great way to end the episode. So thank you so much. Everyone, follow Christa. Her Instagram and TikTok is at Christabella Travels. We'll put that in the caption, the words on the podcast, what the description,
Show notes.
and all that good stuff. What else do you want to plug, Chris? You got your podcast, you got your business. Give it to us.
Yeah, the Digital Nomad Life Academy, as you guys heard, it doesn't matter what your background is. I promise you, I can help you come up with something. And even if you don't have a specific digital skill set, you would be shocked at what aspects of your personality can be leveraged. So give me a shout on Instagram. I'm happy to just chat with you in the DMs if you're at all curious. Shoot me a message.
Awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you so much. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, listeners.